First problem of the night, why not? Well met, lords and ladies, Jacobo speaking, and welcome back to another episode of... So yeah, I'm back. Sort of. Basically, to give an update on the internet situation, it was supposed to be fixed today. That was what we were promised, that it was going to automatically renew and their problems would not, the provider's problems would not be affected anymore as soon as the new month rolled over. Naturally, that would have meant today anyway. But as it turns out, we're not sure if whether, well, now we're thinking it was more of a case of the person who gave us, like, that detachable internet thing that we normally have, and their contract with the internet provider in question, because I have a sim that has the exact same, that is provided by the exact same company, and it seems to be working just fine right now. In fact, I'm on the hotspot of that to stream to you right now. That is what I'm testing currently. And uh, assuming that no one is clutching their ears right now, and no one said anything about any issues, I think it's working out just fine. So it seems like it's slow, but it's functional, is my understanding. Now, this is also me to say that we're intending to do another episode of Missions of Occulta tomorrow over on the Butter Bunch channel. So we naturally, because of the nature of those streams, I need to be able to, do what I do in the in some shape or another. So this is a test for that reason, because I mean, this video is about 5 minutes long anyway. I'm sure that it's not going to be too much of a hassle. It'll be a nice short stream, because I've also got to be up early tomorrow to go somewhere before we return. So yeah, I think it should be very calm process. It's made by the Alpha Sisters. We've never, we haven't overanalyzed their stuff and extrapolated a lot from 5 minutes of content before. Definitely not, and much less with tonight's guest, BB.
Yeah, this is gonna be a weird question. Did you try running this stream earlier today?
No.
Does anyone remember this? No one has mentioned this in chat, so I assume not. But does anyone else remember this stream starting a little bit ago?
I think what you might remember is the notification that the stream was going to start.
Maybe.
Definitely didn't press the button or anything.
Okay. Sorry, look, man, this is the second time I've gotten some really strong deja vu, like, over the last, month or two. I swear to God, I was delivering an order to a car at my work the other day, and I come back inside in, 10, 20 minutes, I see that order pop up on screen, and I'm like, wait, what? No, I delivered that.
It was just a different person ordering the same thing, I imagine, but yeah, fair enough.
I mean...
It was a misclick. That wasn't my internet being weird. Sorry.
Huh. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm tripping.
All right. Well, that's another conversation. Let's go ahead and talk about this. Yeah, Tales of Censored featuring Trash Cat, as is entailed by the thumbnail. The actual video is called something else. You can probably, well, I say you can probably guess, but it's in the description, so you can check it out for yourselves. Naturally, in fact, because of how it works whenever I review Alpha Sister stuff, most of you have probably done so. So, yeah. I think that's a question for you, not for me.
It is, yes. I'm back with the bongos, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Well, I remembered enough to know who it was indicated towards, so 50 points to Ravenclaw, I suppose. Yeah. So first of all, well, actually, I actually I actually downloaded this video when it came out, and I was intending to have that be the next stream anyway. Whenever I decided to, whenever I decided to, I was able to return. Um, and that was mainly because I'm in this one, so it's skipping the queue in terms of Alpha Sisters content, over Bunny Wunny Tales. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting to look into the reason why I started with the Ivan song in the singing competition that I did, and that I was also and that I was also having also experiencing audio cutting out, much like the song I released yesterday, except for entirely different reasons that were not my own in that situation. But hey, I'm pretty sure it worked out here, but just in case, we'll see what if you've heard the song yesterday and you're hearing me right now, you might hear what my microphone sounded like in terms of recent recordings. So let's go ahead and find out if that's passed on and how much of a mean-spirited parody this actually is of the Miraculous series or not. So I guess we'll find out. Without further ado, on with the review.
So, there's this miraculous box. It holds the ladybug
Whoa.
and black cat miraculous, and when put together, you can make a wish.
Okay, so already I'm getting vibes of new. That Phoenix Games, the game company that did all these movie rip-offs, or basically animated shorts, but disguised as games with like same the same basic puzzle piece games or stuff, so they could qualify as games and release them on gaming consoles, and that's how they released their movies. They did a Pinocchio one at one point, and the voice acting sounded a bit like that, where the guy literally as Pinocchio just went, "Okay, girls and boys," and that was his first line as Pinocchio. Just reminded me of that. Also, because Leon Tarkshina showed me a YouTuber reacting to that, and that YouTuber's Kadikarus, who I've watched for years since then. Anyway, here we
It
go.
all
So I guess
comes
this is
full
going.
circle.
Yeah, it's going right at the beginning. Yeah. Also, side notes, because I've mostly watched Rackers in Spanish. It always throws me off just how high pitched Nuru's voice is in comparison to the Spanish actor. This is like, oh yeah, of course, that's what Nuru sounds like. Aside from the delivery.
So, I can make any wish to like bring my dead wife
I
back.
mean, technically,
So yeah, okay, that is absolutely not what what Gabriel sounds like, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't one of the auditions, or I myself would have thrown my hat in the ring because I've been told that my Hawkmoth is convincing to say the least by someone in this chat, I think actually. So you should take that for what you will.
you could, but it would be very unethical since someone else would have to die.
Do I look like I care for about other people? My mother could die for all I care.
I don't think you got to choose. Well, I mean, I was going to say don't get to choose the person. Technically, he did get to choose the person in some way, but if he hadn't, there would have been another situation. I suppose. What? What? You're the one who said that.
Also, there is a chat they're typing in that you could always say your thoughts in.
Yes, but I feel like
Novel concept.
it's
I
not.
know.
It's not quite the same. It's not quite the same in terms of KW being summoned in. Yeah, I don't know. I am Hawkmoth. I'm giving you the power to enter into any StreamYard you desire to voice all of your thoughts. And all I ask from return are Ladybug and Cat Noir is miraculous. See? Possible.
Nuru, Darkwing, rise! From this day on, I shall be.
So I actually don't know the answer to this question. Is Hawkmoth one word or not? Because I'm pretty sure it's meant to be one word because it's it's the name as well. It's kind of like Although then again, Cat Noir is also a superhero name, so that's 2 words. So I don't know. I guess it varies. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, see, that's there's one word. That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay.
Known as Hawkmoth.
He sounds like he's crying. It's just like
Jacob's really letting
right
it
there.
loose. His mic just cut all of that out.
Oh yeah, see,
Not a
going
single
back to
tear.
yeah, going back to that's because it was too high to be perceived apparently while I'm here. I've for some reason run into this issue. If you probably noticed this if you heard the Paradise song from yesterday, but yeah, like if I tried to record anything above like a certain hertz value, it just would not show up no matter what I did. Step forward. I think like one situation able to do that at the very beginning is cutouts, even though it was not super high. So that's why the chorus is significantly lower than it's supposed to be in the original Coldplay version. So yeah,
Master, I can sense the butterfly miraculous is being used again.
I don't remember what Waze sounds like in the English version, so I have no comment here.
Well, it looks like it's that one time of the decade where I give up the miraculous that candy to some random minors.
One time of the decade, that's actually a good question because I don't recall Master Fu giving the miraculous to anyone else aside from the people in the series. He just kept them himself. I mean, I'm just saying if you're gonna spoof something, make sure it's an accurate spoof.
Who's the worst guardian ever, you know that, right?
That is what he was told, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get copyrighted for this, but oh well.
In the daytime, I'm Marinette,
I'm
just a
Adrian.
normal girl.
Okay, that's good. That's good, and because this is one of like people's major complaints with the series because the full title of the series is Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, and I remember the first few trailers of it kind of implied it was meant to be an equal an equal partnership thing. Or like an equal, like they would share like this like the limelight in terms of the series. And then once the series actually came out, it was not the case, and everyone complained, "Oh, why is Aiden not featured so much?" And I feel like that was more of a marketing issue to be that is the meta when it comes to here we go. We're back. But seeing as that's the meta when it comes to this series, having Adrian try to insert himself into the protagonist role, yeah, I get it. Also, why am I watching Gacha? Because the show is called Gacha Review. Welcome.
With a normal life. But there's something about me that no one knows yet.
Because she's going
Oh, is that a different? Okay, I feel like that's suddenly the octaves dropped there, much like my microphone.
to prison at the end of the series.
Spoilers?
Well, now I understand the
Hi.
title.
My name is Marinette, and I'm not just some normal girl because there's something about me that no one knows.
Yeah, we just heard that before. By the way, I said this before, but actually, the normal girl with normal lifeline, it was actually something that was not in the original version. Because in the original version, it's une fille comme les autres, which means a girl like any other. They're not trying to say that her life is normal because they know in that version that it isn't.
I'm a Mary Sue. Might as well be my nickname since my actual nickname is Mary, so close enough.
I mean, it was Mari with an I, but okay.
Ever since I was little, I just knew I was special and better than everyone else.
Right. Okay. There are many things that one can say about Marinette, particularly, but knowing that she was special from the beginning is not one of them. So they're definitely taking a few liberties here to already emphasize the points that everyone else has made about the series up until this point.
People say I'm clumsy, but I fake it. It makes losers think I'm relatable.
Okay, so we're not going with like the commentary side of things. We're going with, okay, let's make her deliberately worse. Honestly, I prefer that because I honestly don't like when people just, they would just rehash like the same things people have like, super like verbose, angrily complained about for such a long time because they really like blew it out of proportion, in my opinion. There are flaws to this series, and I acknowledge them, but the vitriol that it has from people is just simply too much, in my opinion. So I'm glad that we're going in the case of let's make her worse rather than say she's worse. I like that.
It's honestly
Yeah, see, even see, Kenobi agrees with me. She's gonna want those. She's gonna want that akumatization in a second. Let me tell you. Sooner or later, the video will wear her down. We have 4 minutes left, Nuru. Oh wait, you can't hear me. I'm transformed. Never mind.
Exhausting having to pretend I'm not flawless. Everyone loves me except for Chloe, but that's okay. Her jealousy is basically a compliment. Well, time
Yeah, of course. Again, in the original version, is Chloe really jealous? Not really.
To
I
go
don't think. The friends
for
part.
another pathetic year of school. Bye,
Bye,
Marinette. Hope you have a miraculous.
Don't, Chloe, don't mind that. I was just don't regret saying that. Are we actually? We have maybe it's a role reversal. You never know. Maybe Queen Bee is going to be the good guy in this version. But we have nothing special. But I can't be a hero. I'm just Marinette. Well, just Marinette. You're a ladybug. Uh, we got her. We got her. All right. All right. Hop on in. Why not?
We're really
There we
stretching
go.
that internet thin today.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. As far as allowing guests in, I think we'll be fine. If it crashes and I, have to take that back, then so be it. But, it's going to be worse tomorrow if that's the case.
Still
At school. Any of these losers
Okay, so I do remember this scene. I don't remember being a police car. I was not expecting the police car.
is gonna save him? I mean, if I must. Oh my god, sir, are you okay?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
I like how he was going the opposite direction. At least I would say there's an attempt to find empty backgrounds of the actual series rather than having to recreate them. So I like that at least. The only side effect, of course, is that you have him going in the opposite direction as before. But there's Becca's role reversal. I'm sure it exists somewhere. I'm sure that someone has done that. Probably somebody who was had an issue with the regression of Chloe's character arc. Somebody to do with that.
Young lady.
She saved him like it was nothing. She's brave, flawless, selfless, a living legend.
Yeah, whatever.
I think.
Teleports away. She's got powers already. You are not needed here, Master Fu. She's got it under control. Anyway, hi Kidobi.
Hello. Oh, and my boyfriend's not there. Well, anyways, I'm just. What is going on? Like, I knew Elver Silvers were gonna do this kind of thing, but like, come on! Why?
I got worried when I saw some of the audition parts because one of the things is that one of the characters that they actually really don't like, so they had the audition line be be saying I am just the worst kind of this character here, and I'm pathetic and whatever, blah blah blah, like that kind of thing. So it made me feel like this was going to be like some sort of massive commentary on from compared to everyone else who has hated this to the extreme. But I'm glad at least they're going in the direction of, okay, we're going to make it worse and make it what people actually think it is, rather than pretend it was like that from the beginning.
Yeah, because yes, Miraculous has definitely a lot of flaws. Don't get me wrong. Like, it has some questionable writing and everything like that. But it's not as bad as people say it is. It's not like the worst thing ever. Because trust me, I have seen worse cartoons. So it's just like.
I remember there was a video I found one time. I don't remember if they said Marinette. The title was either Marinette is the worst female main character or worst female character of all time. I think it was main character. And I was like, what, really? And the first part in the video was them discussing, oh well, in this episode where she pretends to date Cat Noir, she causes her father to get akumatized. It's like, that was his fault, right? I mean, he's the one who overreacted to this situation. That was not on her.
Yeah, it's just
Or that's to use but one example. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
Like,
I
yeah, I
just
mean,
find it like the morale say it's so ridiculous because when okay, what is the actual reason? Like, is it poor writing? You just don't like the animation? Give me what? And they're like, Marina thinks she's so special and whatnot, everything like she thinks she needs to do everything on her else, blah 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 blah. She it kind of you know, he's just such a Mr. Grumpy Crow. He's such a brooding teenager. I'm over here for being like, hang on, hold on here. Have you actually seen the
I think I've
show?
yeah, I think I've boiled down the miraculous hate to like 3 different points. If I remember to at the end of the video, I'll talk about them because they might come up organically as we continue.
I just found my ladybug.
Well, looks like we have 4 new potential minions at.
They didn't have to exacerbate Master Fu at all there. He just kind of just did that.
I mean, classmates.
What exactly do you think you're gonna doing nearby?
Yeah, it's Chloe's table. You can't just sit there.
You're not at a table currently. Like, I would say that was an issue of like them trying to find the backgrounds, but they literally have the rest of the class behind edited into the tables. They could have done the same thing here. They could have made the background bigger or zoomed it in to account for that. Yeah. You're a fan of StreamYard? Well, yes. We used to use Restream, but I don't anymore for reasons.
Yeah, we are not fans of Restream.
Yeah.
Ooh, Chloe's about to get cooked.
Wow, Chloe, first day of school and you're gatekeeping furniture.
Excusez-moi, it's my table. I reserved it with Adrian.
I do like how a French character said "excusez-moi," you know? It reminds me of how Jean-Pierre Delmas is the only character in the English dub of Code Lyoko that sounds French, even though they're all French. But anyway.
I don't know who he is, and he isn't here. However, I am, so now it's my table.
I like how that didn't. It's like, oh, I'm down my table, and then no one else is sitting here.
You can't just steal my seat.
Then sit down first next time. I think in the original version, she actually arrived later, and so she had to then like get her up.
Chloe, if the seat was really yours, you wouldn't have lost it so easily.
Do you remember a phrase in elementary school that was, you move your feet, you lose your seat? I mean, in this case, she didn't move her feet and thus lost her seat, but, you know, similar idea.
Many of those people must have gotten crazy UTIs over the years.
I mean, you can't prove that they didn't.
New girl, sit here.
TYFY, I'm Alia Cesare.
They
Again,
really
another thing
just
was
said
like,
no. No, they did not just went TY. I BW. No,
Yeah,
no.
so that's not the first time they did that in the video. That's
True, but it's the first time it's happened twice in like such a quick succession. I've said it before, like other episodes videos, because then which aren't voice act. Well, actually, no, they're all voice act. What am I talking about? Yeah, but some of them actually just say like the full thing, but they don't write it out. It's like, okay, I'm wondering why that was the case, and I now realize why. Because again, having recorded for this episode, I know how their scripting process works, or lack thereof. So the video is edited first, or at least it's prepared first, and then screenshots are sent to the actors of their lines, and the screenshots are what's on the captions, basically. And I think also the audition lines are going to be in here, but I wasn't asked to re-record them, so I'm guessing they're going to use the audition clips.
Cheng. Well,
wait, you're telling me that they're just going to use the lines for you to just audition and just use those audition voice clips?
I think so. From one angle, I can sort of get it, because I mean, you know, that if they're the takes that they wanted anyway, but it depends, because obviously, if somebody doesn't know the context behind certain lines, then they can say them really well in audition, but still have to re-record them. Like, you know, like I could do that, for example, where, you know, as a director, and ask someone to record lines they said in audition, because now they'll have the full script and they will know what the point was. However, in this case, that doesn't seem to apply, because since they only sent screenshots and I didn't get the full picture before this episode came out, it's clear that context is not as important to them, and I'm not sure if anyone got redirected for this. I know that I didn't, fortunately, because I've been out of commission for 3 days. But oh wait, no, that was after the video came out. Never mind.
Old minion transferred school, so you'll have to do.
Wait, what?
Nothing, my new BFF.
It's the Sokoline? I think that was a Sokoline reference. Nice deep cut there. I like that. Anyway.
I was avoiding mentioning that one just because the joke doesn't work.
What, the Sokoline joke?
No, the
you mean, sorry. Oh, okay. All right.
It's, the message is broken. It doesn't...
How was she doing anyway? Because, like, if you tried to, like, space it out or whatever to where it's, like, in a row or whatever...
that's not the problem here. The problem is that the joke makes no sense. So...
Well, I think the point was then the random spotlight would be like, oh, God? Is that you? Then Irene, who would be the god in this context, would be like, I don't know.
No, right, but that's not correct, though. Like, God is capital because it's referring to the monotheistic form of God, because it's a name. If it were Irene, which is a polytheistic faith, then it would be lowercase g. And even then, I don't think anyone ever calls her directly God. She's called a goddess, but I don't know that anyone calls her God in the same way that, like...
No, they seem to exist in tandem because they sometimes forgot in my streets.
I still think it's a good
and they also have,
joke,
like,
though.
Christmas, so, like, but, like...
I tell you like the joke, though, just because she's just like, God, is that you? And Irene's just like, probably like, nope, it wasn't me. I'm not a god here.
Either of you seen the Blues Brothers?
Entirely.
No, right, but that's not what Irene said. She's just responding as God, but, like, that's not her. That's incorrect. Doesn't work.
Well, actually, Irene wouldn't respond in this situation. I'm kidding. I get what you're saying.
I'm actually right to ruin the party, baby.
What? What? Okay, look, man. I just think if you're gonna write a joke, make it work.
It did work.
No, it didn't.
Like how it worked.
No, you're right. I didn't like how it worked because it didn't work. No, that's like getting a game on launch.
Come on, you're overanalyzing this point of this joke right here. Anyways, let's get back to watching this 5-minute video that was all meant to be satire.
Let's do the register.
Where is he? He should be here by now.
Who's stay really that quiet in the English version? I need to watch more English Miraculous.
Hey, I'm Adrian Agrest. You probably know me as...
Okay,
no,
fine introduction here, Adrian. Fantastic. Can you possibly run a little slower so we can follow along with the captions?
I know. I don't like this. No, Jacob. Why am I here again? Why?
I feel bad for whoever did the voice of Adrian because because this punctuation does not help the other lines. Like, you can figure it out, but there's still room for error.
The golden boy of Paris, famous model, charming smile. I've got the looks that make everyone stop and stare.
You can't. You're moving too fast for the eye to perceive you.
But here's the...
So let me recap for a second. They haven't got them miraculous yet. But Marinette can teleport, and Adrian can faster and phase through himself.
I've spent my whole life locked away, homeschooled by my crazy ass dad.
No, I don't like it.
He's definitely picking up speed.
This actually brings up a good point. Now he's saying he's spent his whole life locked away. Yes, that is absolutely true. However, if that's the case, how would he know the way to François Dupont? Like, wouldn't he? That's why he's driven there every day. Like, why is he running? Why are you running? Why are you running?
No, I know what's happening. They're just repeating the background, so when it goes from like the end, it just repeats itself. So it looks like he's just running. Well,
absolutely, yeah. Like from an animation perspective, yes, that's what's happening because they don't have access to the backgrounds from the show. In fact, the show didn't have access to, and that's why to do their reanimation.
No friends, no freedom. So today, I'm bringing you out so I can actually experience a normal school life.
Oh my god, it's going. I can't.
So he broke out. That's why he's not being driven around. Got it. Okay. He's running so fast he's breaking the green screen. By the way, I know how to fix that. That's the issue sometimes when you leave. Well, it might be because I paused on it in between frames. That's also a possibility. but also with green screen because gacha in general, if you move it fast enough, it will sort of like account for some of the stuff. Like it's like the moving mouse type of thing, where it's like lip syncing is somewhat pointless most of the time because people's mouths in gacha move so fast you can interpret them as anything. Similar thing with whenever I'm doing like cross fades between different frames in gacha, I normally have like only like only like one frame be the crossfade because then your brain registers that there's like is not so sharp, doesn't see anything because there's not much to see at that point. So what I would suggest is reduce the size of the crossfades, and that will have less of a risk of happening. Even though obviously I paused, and so that's why it showed up. But yeah.
Adrian, get the hell over here. We've been chasing you all over Paris.
Is that supposed to be Natalie? Is that hell like that
What
before?
the fuck? Off! I don't want to be locked in that mansion anymore.
Keep a voice.
Also, is that meant? Is that meant to be Gabriel? I don't know if did his beard always look like
Down.
that?
You're about to start a
Gabriel has a beard actually.
full-on scandal.
His beard gives one of Alfred's personas in a Holy Musical Batman.
After aggressed. Or I'm a new character. I'm definitely not your father in disguise.
About you not being perfect. Have you any idea what does to your
I
brand?
think that's supposed to be the driver. I don't know.
Maybe actually.
What an
Although he doesn't have a beard either, I don't think.
What a good frame.
This
Hold
is
on.
why he gets chosen. This is why he gets chosen because everyone else just stares and films.
I'm a
This is social
screenshot
commentary at its
that. I
finest here.
needed that later on.
I just maybe
Wait, oh my god. Oh wait, the caption is even better with this. This
Oh,
is
no.
frame followed by keep your voice down. You're about to start a full-on scandal about you not being perfect. And do you have any idea what this can do to your brand?
Yeah, Master Fu, think about your brand, idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the hell do you think you're going?
So this
Okay,
plane of
hold
reality,
on.
apparently.
Oh god, no! I just I get it. This is supposed to be like a parody on people think it's worse like this, whatever. But come on, Natalie ain't like that. She's just like, please, sir, please, we don't want your father to get angry, please, cause she cares about Adrian and his future and whatnot. She's just worried that he's gonna get
She
more
reminds me a lot of
trouble.
she reminds me a lot of Agent R from My Street. Although speaking of employees, actually, yeah, considering that this guy hasn't spoken yet, I agree he's meant to be the driver.
Thank you, young man.
Oh my god, I saw Adrian aggress. This is the first time I've seen him in public.
Get the hell here. We're going home. Perfect.
Ah, yes, this will help your image. Drag him by the ear. That won't make tabloids.
for the camera,
And that's the end of the
He didn't get his phone and film. He has social standards.
lesson. See you all soon.
Hey, Kim,
Perfect
hand
fit
that
for the
over.
cat. He escaped.
Well, there you go. That's my first line.
Ivan, shut up and go to the principal.
Again, okay. Another character that's definitely not like this in reality, because obviously Miss Bustier can get angry and such, but only
my
one person.
God,
This would be
wait,
like in this
that's
Mendeleev line.
actually-
So again, different.
Yeah.
That's actually her name.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I thought that was a joke for the video.
Oh
They
no,
actually
it's not.
named
I
her
also
Miss Bustier.
No, Miss Bustier.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Which is a
That's-
word that I first heard in Ultra Nova. Which made me think, oh, okay, this is an actual last name. I assume it's an actual last name you can have, but that there was no joke associated with that. The first 5 seasons. I don't know about the 6th one because again, I'm not sure if it's out on Disney Plus yet. I haven't checked,
Yeah.
but I've been waiting patiently for any word of that. But
You know-
for the first 5 seasons, nothing related to that.
I'm so excited to see what her personality is.
Supposed to be his sideburns, but you have sideburns in Gacha Life. Oh wait, no, I forgot they don't use Gacha Life 2. That was a laugh track for a second.
Stoneheart, I am.
Okay, you know what?
Half moth, really?
Aside, okay, you know, yes, okay. So, reverse helium filter Hawkmoth aside, what like I do like how they did the akumatization because they did actually have the Akuma go into an object. The object turned a different color, then they had this appear, which is more than I've seen in most of the Pops content that tries to handle akumatizations.
I'm giving
You
you
know, I don't-
powers, and in return,
I
you
don't
get me
really
to
see
leave.
much Hawk, but I do see a bit of Moth there.
Yeah, that is also true. In Spanish, they call him Lepidoptero, which is just the which is just the genus that most butterflies are from. So meant to be butterflies as moth based. So I'm guessing hawk moth is a type of butterfly. In French, his name is Le Papillon, which means man, but butterfly, the butterfly man in like a portmanteau type of situation.
Oh god. Yeah, guys,
Yeah.
he's such a butterfly man. I mean, look at him. Such a butterfly man. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, I assume that hawk moth butterflies look something remotely like this. I don't know.
That cat miraculous is.
You got yourself a. So, as far as I'm aware, I'm sorry to cut myself off, actually. But surely, yeah, the plural of miraculous is miraculous, right? Like, again, I haven't watched much of the English one, but what I have
they
heard,
literally
yeah.
in English when Hawkma goes like, "Hey, I wanted to make a deal with you, or whatever." He literally says, "Bring me cat noirs and ladybugs miraculous." He never says miraculouses or macroli or other floor stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Another fun fact in the Spanish dub, the miraculous were called prodigios, prodigios. But the thing is, a special came out, and I don't remember what they called the item in question, but I do remember being so confused by their name, I switched the language, and I realized that's because they called it the prodigious in the English version. It's like, oh, okay. It's probably something similar to the French one. I didn't verify, but yeah, that's why. And they wrote themselves into a corner for that one. And hey, this had a single and plural form in that version.
What do you mean? You haven't heard the French say the word prodigious all the time? You aren't familiar with that?
Well, I mean, in the French version, they say miraculous, but with a French accent. It's not.
Oh well, all right.
Just...
Wow.
Deal, Flopmoth.
It's Hawkmoth, not Flopmoth, you stupid kid.
I'm not gonna lie, because I got no context for this. I thought that in this version, considering what they call Ladybug and Cat Noir in this version, I thought his name was actually Flopmoth in the script. So I was fully convinced by that.
Hey Paris, it's your favorite lesbian-looking reporter here to tell you.
Okay, hold on. Before we move on to this, yeah, so there is a Hawkmoth. Okay, there we go.
You know,
I remember the Stoneheart episode 3 of Super Never Dying. That's all I can think about now. Unfair comparison, obviously.
I get the vision,
Nice
but also it's just generally impolite to say that someone is lesbian looking.
Well, I mean, this is the character themselves saying lesbian looking.
Are they spelling
Also,
like her name wrong? Because I
also,
never...
BB, hang on a second. In Mistress of Occulta, the first time you saw Lou, you referred to him as you look like a gay noir detective.
And I'm queer.
And this character might also be.
I mean, sure. I mean, more so is the like.
Anything,
is the writer
this is the exact same defense that the Alpha Sisters used for when I titled one of the reactions to this like the most homophobic video that we've seen recently or something like that. Because of the way they handle certain situations, their defense was it's okay because 3 of us are gay.
3 of how many sisters are there?
5.
Okay.
Not that it matters because we dismissed that and made fun of that defense because obviously the people criticizing it aside from myself, the people like in the video criticizing it were also gay, so that nullified everything. But using I'm queer
Sure.
as a defense in that situation either doesn't work because we applied it to them in the same way, or it does work and this is perfectly fine.
It doesn't work so long as whoever wrote this is.
Wait, GK, you're telling me that's how they spell? Really? Okay, because only like the Disney Plus like subtitles or whatever. Because that's how I watch Miraculous now. Because they keep switching streaming platforms or whatever. Because it was originally on Netflix, but then they switched it to Disney Plus. Because I think Disney now owns the series or whatever. I don't know. They spell it with a IA at the end.
It could just be a subtitle issue. It might just be a. I mean, I'll double check just because I'm curious, but.
Yeah, I'm not like here's the thing. I'm not saying that as a bad thing or anything. I'm just surprised. That is all.
I also watch the show on Disney Plus, and I think they spell it, and I think I've seen it spelt both ways in different. episodes.
No, it's. Oh, weird. Okay, so the wiki says Nadja, so Nadja, Chamak or whatever, and then they put down.
Yeah.
And then they put down in parentheses called Nadia, Nadia, Chamak in some episodes.
Well, there we go. See, it's different in different episodes. Like I said, it's pronounced Nadia either way because that's how that's how that name's pronounced. You know, it's kind of like it's like the Russian or / Polish version of J versus because I'm pretty sure in French they don't do that usually. But there you go.
Yeah,
Stone
so
monster
it seems
is
like
attacking Paris.
it's not a Disney Plus issue. It seems like the show itself is just inconsistent.
Gotcha.
There you go. Add that to your list, miraculous haters.
I'm saying it's working for some flop mod guy.
What the hell?
Okay, that's carrying on, I suppose. It is difficult to understand him with his reverse helium self.
Why does he get a whole new segment? I save one old man and Paris barely claps.
I mean, aside from the fact it's a giant stone monster, yeah, of course. Tracks for this new version.
Wow, is my amazingness finally getting noticed?
Wow, first time I leave the mansion and this happens.
Wait, surely don't they have to open the boxes first before the Kwamis come out?
Well, guess what? Now you can go whenever you want to.
And lastly, there's the miraculous. Yeah, whatever. I'm amazing.
Is it bad that, Plague somehow has not, immediately given himself away as a terrible character? Because he's the actual worst in the series. Forget Marinette.
I got this. Tiki, spots on.
He didn't tell you to say that. How do you know how do you know the activation phrase? Did you even put the earrings on?
It came to her in a dream.
Wait.
Well,
Oh no, she has the earrings on now. Okay, so she's wearing them currently. Was she wearing them at the start of this scene? Hold on, wait a minute. I need to go back. Okay, she's not wearing the start of this scene, so it cuts to Adrian, then it cuts back and she has them on. Okay, so I'm guessing that was an animation save on their
This
part.
finally getting noticed?
Wow, first time I leave the mansion and this happens.
Well, guess
Fights of
what?
War
Now you
rules.
can go whenever you want to.
And lastly, there's the miraculous. Yeah, whatever. I'm amazing. I got this. Tiki, spots on.
Bug, close out!
Well, let's make her.
Man, I was actually looking forward to the Alpha Sisters' interpretation of the transformation sequence.
Yourself look good.
Why does Tiki have hair? Good question, actually.
We don't know. Do we? Do we want to? I don't think we want to. I was trying to ignore that when she first appeared, but GK, you have to say something, don't you? Why?
I guess I guess she's the Kwame of creation, so she can make herself a toupee. I guess someone has to go bald for the universe to balance out.
You have to go Charles Xavier mode.
Eating this monster.
OMG, FYI, you guys are TTL.
What's the...
I mean,
is that?
at
Wait,
this
what?
point, it's just at this point, it's that's just a character choice for Alia because she's meant to be the tech savvy one, the internet ones. Of course, she uses internet type of things like abbreviations in her actual dialogue. Sure, fair enough. Then.
That's fine. That's
I
a lot
get
of. But what did she say though? I don't know what she just said.
I think she's going to translate in a second. Once I unpause. For now, I'm just going to point out that Ivan looks very unbothered by this situation that he's found himself in. I guess because the miraculous ladybug reversed all the bruises he sustained, maybe, but I don't know.
Yes.
Hey,
It
Larry.
was something I made for a girl I liked, and Kim was bullying me for it.
Okay, again, in the context of this, he doesn't know that they know who Kim is. I just noticed, by the way, that Cat Noir's eyes are the same color as his skin, and now that that is oh wait, no, it's because of the specific reaction. Okay. Because the mask kind of like makes it.
Yeah. Oh, that is horrifying. Yeah,
Oh,
because in like
Yeah,
comic
Cat
books
Noir's
and because in like in
There you
comic
go.
books and stuff, you're supposed to believe that like whatever's inside of the mask is the eyes, no matter whether it's consistent or not. It's just that's the style,
Jacob.
which
Why
is
do you have to
evidently
point
not
that
the case
out?
here.
Why do you have to point that out? Why?
I don't
I
know
was
about
just
since it's a
mostly
family
staring
thing, it's
at
been a
like the
while.
black suit because I'm like, why is it so much black? Why we cannot see anything? And then when you talk
Outline
about the
black,
eyes,
and that's why it's the thing again. You know, they
yeah.
didn't account for the fact that if you use outline black, anything that's outlined on the suit is no longer visible. Yeah, and also I guess, but yeah, Cat Noir's eyes are actually weirdly important because one of the constant things that Marinette points out about Adrian is his eyes specifically, and like Cat Noir's eyes being cat styled is one of the things that doesn't give him away, even though obviously it's magic anyway. It's just like an extra layer. It's also really funny, of course. It's kind of like saying that your favorite part of Batman is his jawline to Bruce Wayne. It's like that kind of situation.
I mean, can you blame him?
BW, what are your names?
Hot skill. Just call me Ladybug.
And me, Cat Noir. Rawr.
Huh? Sleep like a
what?
trash cat?
Count it.
I guess that's where the title came from. Alia was just deliberately messing with them. Sure, all right then. Also, I like the detail of Andre being in the background. Wait a minute, actually, a second.
It's the
Because
Cabbage
Andre's
Man.
concession stand is never like
Oh my god.
I think Jacob just broke.
Oh god.
Yeah, I don't hear him anymore, and he's frozen. So.
alone right now. You can
Oh
actually
well, hold on. He's picking up.
That's actually scary.
I
Hello?
guess. So yeah. So hello. So
There you go.
I don't know if I don't know if that was audible or not. But what I said was that it could, because Andre's stand is never alone, means that Andre himself is always going to be in the scene. So you can actually see right behind Gacha Andre that 3D Andre from the show is still visible. Andre is blocking himself.
That's pretty solid.
Oh god. Like, you scared me, Jacob. Like, I heard what you said and everything, but I just wanted to, like,
It's
take a
doubly solid,
moment.
more solid than it needs to be. Although speaking of solid, his ice cream is not melting right now.
Oh my god. Jacob's like it so hard. Is he back? I get down.
My
Oh.
back, hello, is what?
There you go, there you go, there
Well,
you go.
I thought it was fine because B was talking to me.
You were fine, and then you froze. And so I thought you paused, and then you started talking again. So it was like a sped up version, like I was watching like a 2 times like video speed.
Okay, what was the last thing you heard me say?
You were. Oh no. Oh no.
Am I here?
B, what was the last thing you heard me say?
You were saying something about the ice cream man.
You were saying how the ice cream
Yeah,
was.
that he's blocking himself.
Yeah, he's blocking himself, and the ice cream isn't melting.
Well, basically, you heard everything then.
Okay.
Good.
You think you two have won? Things are just getting started.
Well, we can stop cheering for shitty like a trash cat because there are even more stone monsters now which are frozen.
Yeah, this is the part that they didn't capture the Akuma. Well, I mean, this time it is actually her fault because she didn't listen to the explanation that Tiki was going to give. And
Why
yeah,
is
the
she
hair
so
is absolutely
angry
very
at the
distracting right now.
superheroes?
Alpha Sisters. Actually, Jessie Cat, because I know you made this one. Jessie Cat, you do know that there are actual antennae in Gacha, right? That you can use.
Jeez, they can't even get my name right. But what the hell? How do we mess up? I'm literally perfect. It was probably that pesky cat's
See
fault.
how Marinette said said the W2H thing like out loud. She said the full thing. So it's definitely just Alia being obnoxious in this version.
Yeah, I still have no idea what she said.
To explain it to you. Oh my god, this is all your fault. How am I supposed to know? It's not my fault I cut you off. All your fault.
So it'd be very rarely updated. Well, I guess
No,
I guess we'll wait to
just
find out
cancel
what
it.
happens to the rest of the Stonehearts.
No, please, no more. Just cancel it. No. Alpha Sisters,
Nah,
please,
nah,
no.
nah.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. Look. Here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with parodies or anything like that, since we have like the pop like for example like the pop series, right? It's a franchise which is like a bunch of like parodies of the pops and everything like that. They're connected in some way or another. Bond series, is called if Jacob Bond was like the pops or whatever, they were called pops and whatnot and everything like that. Was supposed to be a parody on the series itself and everything like that. But this, I genuinely did not enjoy it one bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so
I'm never gonna
Yeah,
recommend that they just like cancel a series. Just make it better.
yes, so it's I mean, yeah, because for me it's a case of like it's almost the equivalent of saying delete a video because it's bad. But to piggyback off what KW was saying in terms of the difference between the Bon, like the Bon and Jacob, pop spoof versus this one is that the Bon and Jacob pop spoof was that was what I thought this was going to be. It was
Yeah.
a commentary like satirizing what was actually in the series rather than exaggerating it. Like this definitely is more of a spoof territory than satire. I mean, even though the artists will claim, all their fans will most likely say it's just satire again or something like that because they say that about everything. It's not really actual satire here; it's spoof. But either way, like again, I prefer this for this specific series because most of the people that try to satirize Ladybug, including some of the commentaries that I've seen that are similar to this one, just make the exact same points and with that we've all heard a million times that don't have too much in terms of actual backing in the first place. They have some, but again, I've said that before. At some point, I do want to do that full breakdown of every episode, but that's a whole big project for some other day. With a pause, maybe. But in terms of this right here, like some of these things, I think when you're trying to do like this type of comedy, like this spoof, you need to make sure. I mean, if you are like often like a few nuggets of commentary, like it comes across that way, don't contradict what's in the actual show, or alternatively, don't structure a joke so it doesn't work when the setup for it you originally changed would have been better. Like the Chloe coming in to actually sit down in a place that someone already is sitting down at, compared to no one was in that chair at the time and Marinette just kind of like barged in. If you want to subvert that, don't have the setup be different because then people will already present a different outcome because that's not how subversion works. But yeah, I mean,
like obviously if they want to get to it, that's fine, whatever. I was over talking about like canceling a series like that. I'm not gonna ask them to delete this video or whatever. I don't think like I will ever come back to like watch like a part 2 if they're planning to do like a part 2 or whatever, just because it's just generally not good. I just feel like if anything it's just like trying to think of the right words here, but it's like hard to find one.
Yeah, it feels similar to Aiden describing what he doesn't like about about older Star Kid videos, in terms of in terms of like like that type of parody just isn't for him in that particular sense, I suppose.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
I will say I don't like. I know this channel is meant to be like swear free or whatever, so but regardless, ignoring that, just like from a general like entertainment standpoint, because obviously I'm not against swearing, I just play nice with the rules here. I don't get it. Like they said they swore so often, but it was like, why though? Why is everyone so passionate?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I just generally don't like. This is actually one of the main reasons why I don't like the Has-Been Hotel stuff or whatever. There's like other like outside reasons, but like if we're just talking about like the show itself or whatever, it's just that it felt like they're making a lot of like inappropriate jokes and swearing like in every single sentence, whatever, just so they can make it more mature and more adult. When you don't necessarily need to do that to make it a mature show. Like
Yeah.
there's like nothing wrong with like making a few inappropriate jokes here and there or swearing a few times here and there, but like when it goes like over the top or whatever, I would like be like, I can't continue this or whatever because I want to know like the
Yeah.
story, the plot, the world building, and everything like that, not what they're gonna say all the time.
But you can have the world building and plot and all that with everything you just complained about. Like those don't cancel each other out. The thing that
but it becomes it's because that one of them is not wide of the other, and one of them can actively hinder another one if they don't cancel each other out. In the case of Has-Been, I'm guessing that they do that because they're fighting against the idea of all animation is for kids type of situation. Like that's always what comes out, especially with 2D stuff. But yeah, in terms of swearing, actually, it's weird. It's weird because sometimes there will be things where you can tell they're just swearing for the sake of trying to up the rating on purpose, and there's no like backing to it. And when
Yeah.
that happens, it loses all of its power, of its meaning. The more that you use something, the more it becomes the more it becomes like second nature, like normal, it becomes background noise.
Yeah.
Some shows can play around with that. Like Most Popular Girls in School, for example, swears all the time. Every character's a sailor mouth, and that's deliberate because they're not trying to be mature; they're trying to be childish. They even make a comment about that later on, where one character who doesn't swear is like, it's just a word, whatever, it has no meaning or whatever, and then it turns out they go on a whole like paragraph tirade or something. It's like, okay, again, they're aware of what they're doing and why they're doing it. So I feel like
Yeah.
it's either like you go like super extreme, or a little bit more reserved and save it for the good moments. And in this situation, I would definitely recommend save for the good moments because you don't. First of all, you don't want to anger YouTube. Most People Goes to School, aired over 10 years ago. YouTube has changed a lot since then, but also because that will probably play a lot better with the audience that they've cultivated.
Well, I don't know. I think because here's the thing. I have heard all of the arguments you made before, right? Like BoJack Horseman, for instance, is one show that lives by the philosophy of use it during the good moments. How does it? So it only uses swear words like very few times across the entirety of the show, and it's only for deeply impactful moments, and it works for them, and that's the intent. Other things like Has-Been, they swear quite a bit, but I think it works with the general like it literally takes place in hell. Like
but but I hate that excuse though. Like, well, it's because it takes place in like the underworld and they're like demons or
hell,
whatever.
the underworld is very different.
I'm using it just because I don't like saying the other word, baby.
Hell is literally a place, though. Like, we aren't using it in a derogatory sense. It is a place, geographically.
We get it. Can we move on, please, baby?
Thank you. Anyways, like, I just don't like the excuse, well, because they're demons, and they're the underworld and whatnot, and everything. Of course they're gonna do that, and everything like that. And I'm like, that doesn't really matter. There are really good shows out there that takes place in worse places or whatever that doesn't swear a bunch or say appropriate jokes a bunch and they like reserve it and whatnot when there are good moments. I don't like that excuse. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you're going to make that excuse, like, it's just a dumb excuse for me because like why? Why does that matter?
You can feel the agenda behind something. Then that's what then that is always in your mind when you hear that thing or see that thing, depending on the situation.
Like, I get it, it's a bad place. Yeah, I get that, but I still feel like they shouldn't like do it over the top or so extreme, whatever, where it's like really hard to figure out what is the actual plot because it
But it's
feels
not
like
hard to figure out what the actual plot is.
well, it actually is. Like
No,
I
it's
have
not.
talked. Yeah, yes, it is. Like maybe like a lot of people have complained about like the swearing and inappropriate jokes. Like
That's completely different than understanding the plot.
because they mostly hear the inappropriate jokes and the swearing. Like
That sounds
they
like a
don't
them
understand.
problem then.
No,
Like
it's
that's
not.
It
not.
kind of
Yeah,
sounds like
it
the
is.
Miraculous haters, in terms of what they perceive from the show versus what's actually there and the lack of balance between those two things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, as I was actually saying, before we got in that, there's the BoJack Horseman thing, which used the use it sparingly, which works. For Husband Hotel, I don't think it's such an issue because again, it literally it takes place now. Who cares?
I
Actually,
care.
quite a few care, but I don't see any real reason to. In this instance, however, what I don't get the context for such passionate language because you have, for instance, in the news reporter, I think that's the most egregious example of it actually. At the tail end, when they just refer to the whatever Cat Noir and Ladybug, I think their names are, but
Yep.
they just interject it with swear puns, and it's okay, but why though? And also
Because
even if
Alia said them earlier in the episode and it caught on.
I guess, but even then, if it's and she said it so angrily as well, and that doesn't work. They literally just say
the voice
it
actor was
out,
about
and
to
it's
crack up actually.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't really get why it was so prominent in this video in particular.
Yeah, that's why I have the same issues with shows who are like that. It's just I don't get it. It's just for me. It's just
Feels
bad
like
writing.
the kind of nickname that a villain would give. After you fought them for some time, Boy Wonder versus Boy Blunder type of situation.
But it's not a villain. It's just some random newscaster.
Exactly, which is the difference, and that's why it doesn't work so well.
Oh, that's
Also,
fair.
it was Alia first, then the newscaster.
It's just I don't know. I just I again it's supposed to be a parody and whatnot and everything like that, but it just doesn't work. It just doesn't.
One of the things that the Alpha Sisters doesn't always balance is how the parody works when you look at it as a whole. If you look at it through the lens of okay, just from one joke to the next, but when you try to you try to look at it, any deeper, like we are, for example, then suddenly it's okay, well, these the lack of connection here spirals this. It could be to quote Pedro Pascal here, the joke is good, it could be better. Yeah. And the way it could be better is if there was more connection and they actually thought about a bit more how it comes together. But because they don't script these things, again, that's bring it full circle back from the recording.
Oh, so yeah, it did just kind of jump around to the next sections.
That was somewhat how the Origins episode was structured, but without a few of the connective tissues that were in there potentially. So yeah.
At least from the early seasons, right? Or
oh, in that case that's not a gripe against this video, then that's just a gripe against Miraculous, I guess.
This is one episode, by the way. I don't what
Oh,
I'm saying
you're
is they
talking
didn't have the
mainly the
connective
one-
tissue
okay,
that the
okay.
episode did.
Okay, I just couldn't remember if you just meant some episodes, generally speaking, in the earlier seasons or not, because like I said, it's been a while since I've watched Miraculous, so it's
I mean, what I've found with a lot of shows, French shows particularly, actually, is that the first seasons feel more episodic and like they could be out of order compared to later on in the second season, where suddenly it becomes a lot more like watch the episodes in order or you will get lost, essentially.
yeah.
Is that Miraculous kind of bounces that out a little bit with there's overall stuff, but watch these episodes and then and then sometimes when you can tune into this one, you'll be fine with that, and I'd go from there. So it's not as much of a thing, but again from other comparisons I could make. Yeah. So apparently we're gonna love Mobster series when it drops. Apparently. Yeah, love exactly. Yeah, considering well, maybe if there's that much swearing in it, we might have to put it on the Butter Bunch instead of on here. I thought this would
Yeah, on the
probably
butter
mostly
on the
be
butter
fine
bunch
if
we
they-
have sailor mouths.
God.
Well, you know, they do. But yeah, speaking of the Butter Bunch, that's where we'll be tomorrow. You know, I'll definitely. It seems like I'll still be cutting out occasionally, but that's the best we can do. Like if I remember to bring my phone down here, the hotspot will reach a little bit further, and I'll have fewer issues. That's what I'm hoping for right now. You know, fingers crossed. We need a little
Fingers
bit of
crossed.
Ladybug's luck, I suppose, in order to carry that through. But yeah, I guess just to wrap up this, you know, tighten up some of those crossfades so there's no green screen issues. Don't have seizure inducing repetitive backgrounds if he's running that fast. And yeah.
Yep.
Unless unless you're up for a little bit of you know, a Hawkmoth audition, which I will be willing to provide, but that's a little bit of an extra bonus.
Unless you're
Either way,
looking to replace someone.
looking forward to the next one
God.
with the implication. Anyway, please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. As I've done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.
Goodbye.